I am honored to receive this award, not only because of my enormous respect for Justice Stevens, but because of my unbounded respect and admiration for the other persons who are receiving this award. They include some of the finest jurists in the nation, lawyers who will go down in the annals of our profession as the best ever, and community leaders who have changed our city forever. I have done nothing by myself to merit mention even in the same sentence as these giants, but I have been fortunate to be a member of teams of talented people that have achieved great things. As a federal prosecutor, I worked with dedicated AUSAs, agents, and officers to protect communities whose streets and parks had been controlled by violent street gangs. In the private sector, I've been privileged to work with persons from Northwestern Center on Wrongful Conviction and others in their efforts to free wrongfully convicted people. Our system of justice is the best in the world, but it is not perfect. Innocent people are in prison, and that thought gnaws at me. A law license is a gift, and that I've been given the opportunity to use that license to free innocent persons is the greatest gift of all. I commend wrongful conviction work to all of you. Finally, at Riley Safer Homes in Cancilla, I am blessed to work with some of the finest people I've ever met. They exemplify excellence and generosity every day. It is on behalf of all of those persons that I accept this award, and I count this as yet another debt that I owe to all of them. Thank you to the Chicago Bar Association for this tremendous honor.
I am deeply honored to receive this award named for Justice John Paul Stevens. He has been a hero of mine for a very long time. In 1982, when I was first screened by the Chicago Bar Association's Judicial Evaluation Committee, I was asked which judge I most admired, and I answered, Justice John Paul Stevens. My admiration has only deepened throughout my years on the bench. Even as a young person, I was aware that Justice Stevens came to national prominence in 1969 when he led a bribery investigation of 2 Illinois Supreme Court justices, forcing them to retire. My own judicial career began as the Gaylord corruption scandal broke only 14 years later. And as painful as those events were for the judiciary of Illinois, leaders like 2008 Stevens Award winner Thomas Fitzgerald inspired Illinois judges to commit to heal those terrible breaches of public trust. Judges are called upon to make difficult and often unpopular decisions. They have the ability to make those decisions only when the public believes that they are acting fairly and impartially. Judicial independence is just the other side of the coin from judicial ethics. But that's a very delicate balance. Justice Stevens has spoken forcefully about how today the appearance of partisanship can undermine the work of judges throughout the land. In his dissent in Bish v. Gore, he wrote, "Although we may never know the identity of the winner of this year's presidential election, the identity of the loser is clear. It is the nation's confidence in the judge as impartial guardian of the rule of law." Justice Stevens has worked to promote the public's trust and confidence in the integrity of the judiciary throughout his long career. And for that, he continues to be a hero to me. I will treasure this award as a daily reminder to work to earn the people's trust. And as the judge has often said, thank you for your attention.
It is indeed a tremendous honor to have been selected to receive one of the 2017 Justice John Paul Stevens Awards. You know, what makes this award especially significant to me personally is that I had the honor of getting to know Justice Stevens when he was on the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals, which was much earlier in my career as I was developing as a young lawyer. In those early years, I viewed Justice Stevens as an extraordinary model for all young lawyers to imitate and follow as they pursued their careers. Then as the decades went by and Justice Stevens went on the Supreme Court, I would occasionally see Justice Stevens at Chicago legal events after he went on the Supreme Court. And I would sometimes share with him a story that I would tell him that once a week I would be reminded of what an historic and extraordinary member of the United States Supreme Court that he was, because I told him that I lived in a town called Burr Ridge, the same place he lived before he went on the Supreme Court. I would explain to him that about 2 blocks away from my house was a public park that was named the park in honor of Justice Stevens. And I would explain to him that over the years, as I would take my children and then later my grandchildren, I'd take them to the park. And as we walked into the park, there would be this plaque. And on it would be displayed that this is the park that belongs dedicated to Justice Stevens. And I would share with the Justice that in spite of his fame and extraordinary skills and ability as a member of the U.S. Supreme Court, I never once had any of my young children ever explain to me that they were holding me in any great awe or honesty because of knowing Justice Stevens. And he would laugh and he would chuckle. Now, as I look at to receive this award here tonight, it is a great honor to be among this group of honorees that have such outstanding backgrounds in Illinois legal community. To be included in them is indeed a great honor, and I want to thank the Chicago Bar Association for giving me this award. Thank you.